Welcome to part 2 of Survivor's History of Medevacs, or as I like to call it, guess what Survivor production is gonna do next? In season 24, One World, Courtney Moon broke her wrist on one of those run down the net Chuck E. Cheese inspired challenges. They had to stop the immunity challenge and they never were able to finish it, and there was no tribal and no vote out. Fun fact, Courtney is the only woman that has ever been medevaced on Survivor. Next on One World was Colton. Colton had a bacterial infection. Colton got pulled, they canceled the immunity challenge, and they all had to go to tribal council, and there Jeff told them there was going to be no vote. Season 26, Karamoan, Shamar got sand in his eye, and his tribe thought he was being dramatic. It turned out he had multiple abrasions in his eye. And the immunity challenge was held after he left, and Laura got voted out that same day. In the Karamoan finale episode, Eric Reichenbach collapsed, walking back from tribal council. He was depleted from the rigor of the game. And then the final four of that episode, they just competed from there. In season 31, Survivor Cambodia, Terry Dietz was pulled out of the game, not because he was injured, but because his son had a medical emergency and he needed to get home. They had an immunity challenge and a tribal, and Wu was voted out 3 days later. In season 32, Korong, Caleb Reynolds, in one of the most dramatic medevacs ever, had a heat stroke during the challenge. Sydney was also in pretty bad shape as well, but she did not have to be pulled from the game. They did have an immunity challenge and a tribal, and Alicia was voted out 2 days later. Also in Korong was Neil. Neil had a staph infection. There was actually a moment where the doctor came to camp and checked everybody out because everybody had an infection. But Neil was the only one who had an infection that was bad enough that he had to be pulled from the game. This happened after an immunity challenge had already taken place. They still canceled the tribal and had no vote. Also in Korong was Joe. That poor guy, he won a reward. He ate too much meat and his body couldn't take it. He had terrible bladder pain, and they ended up pulling him from the game and they canceled the immunity challenge. Had no tribal, no vote. Another fun fact is Korong is the only Survivor season that had 3 medevacs in the same season. But wait, there's more. Check out part 3.